Today's compilation is creepy. It features some of the most bizarre and unbelievable entities ever recorded. And wait to see what happened in this shocking video. Because these are things humans weren't meant to see. Last year, a veterinarian named Valeria Martinez uploaded this video. She claimed that she'd found this bizarre cat after it wandered into her backyard. It had human-like features and really odd paws that didn't resemble those of any normal cat. However, most viewers weren't convinced it was real, because Martinez never shared more videos of the cat. Its appearance looked too bizarre to be true, and if it was real, scientists would have taken it to study its strange genes. So, was this truly a cat with unnatural traits, or are we looking at a hoax? Strange man. A geologist named Ricardo Alvarez had gone to study unusual rock formations in a remote, rocky region of the Andes Mountains. That's when he stumbled across a small opening in the ground. Inside it, there was a man's face. He had white hair and deeply wrinkled skin. The hole was far too narrow for anyone to crawl into. Before recording him, Ricardo had tried asking him if he was stuck or needed help, but the man didn't seem to understand his language. Instead, he behaved as though it was his first contact with a human. Alvarez thought about contacting the rescue team, but realized that the man didn't seem to be in discomfort. So, he just recorded him and walked away. Frightening tunnel entity. In New York, two girls went into a storm drain to record a spooky TikTok video. That drain was once a famous spot for students to hang out or spray graffiti, but after some of them went missing, the area was made off limits. When these girls set up their cameras and went in, they soon realized their mistake. A horrifying creature emerged from the tunnel and chased them like an animal. It had red eyes and a long tail. The girls managed to escape, but forgot their phone inside. Hours later, they dared to go back in to retrieve it and showed the chilling footage to police, fearing this creature was behind the missing students. Demonic entity. 2 years ago, a hiker set out to explore the Gorontalo forest in Indonesia. The forest had always been on his travel list, but by the second night inside it, he deeply regretted the trip. He was just setting up his tent when he spotted something straight out of a nightmare perched on a tree branch. The entity was covered in black hair and its eyes were glowing. It had not two, but multiple horns on its head. When he zoomed in, he noticed it eating something with clawed hands. He didn't even want to imagine what it was eating, so he backed away quietly and decided to leave the forest at dawn. Shocking transformation. Critics are divided over this clip because it's really strange. The uploader said that after mistreating a street dog, he woke up the next morning like this. His form had changed, and his limbs looked like a dog. He insisted the animal had cursed him. After the video reached over 1 million viewers, they started pestering the uploader for the truth, because it seemed impossible. Turns out, they were right. The uploader later revealed that the footage was edited. He wanted to warn people against mistreating animals, which is why he created the bizarre video. Strange marsh entity. A farmer was out near a marsh collecting reeds for his livestock when something caught his eye in the water. At first, he thought he saw a person's face and immediately thought someone might be in need of help. He was about to jump in, but then realized it wasn't a normal person at all. Instead, he saw a pale, ghostly white face staring back at him. He was so confused by whatever it was that he began recording, wondering if it could be some kind of unknown aquatic creature. When he noticed that its face was frozen in the same horrified expression, he thought it could also be a discarded mannequin, but even then, he refused to get in. eerie transformation. Did this man just transform on camera? At first, it looked like a figure was crawling across a road like a dog, but as soon as it reached the other side, it stood up and walked away like a man. At least, that's how it appeared in the video. After the video spread online, one viewer gave a simpler explanation, saying it wasn't a dog at all, but a man crouching low to hide behind a passing car while trying to escape the cops. That theory made sense, but the footage still feels strange enough to raise doubts. So what do you think really happened here? Strange dog. In 2017, people in South Africa were shocked when they saw this man acting like a dog. Residents first heard a clicking sound outside their home. When they stepped out, they saw him crawling on all fours and realized the sound was coming from the objects he was holding. He looked normal. He was dressed like an ordinary person too, but his movements and behavior were disturbingly animalistic. As more people noticed him, one of the locals recognized the man from a nearby area. He explained his name was Thabo Khumalo, and he was suffering from clinical lycanthropy, a psychiatric delusion in which a person believes they can transform into an animal. Mysterious sighting. On September 5th, 2021, a TikTok user, Sarah Ravana, uploaded a video that quickly unsettled viewers. She was walking through Blaydon, Gateshead in England, when she noticed a mysterious figure in the distance. It didn't look like an ordinary person because the figure was extremely dark. What made it stranger was that this was broad daylight, so it couldn't have been a man covered in shadows. Sarah immediately thought of Slender Man, who is often believed to be found in empty fields like this, which is why she filmed it from a safe distance and walked away. Trapped soul. The ghostly woman you are seeing right now has a really dark story. She was once a poor villager named Reena who lived in this village in Uttar Pradesh. Struggling to survive, she turned to satanic rituals, hoping they would bring her wealth, but the rituals backfired, and she passed away mysteriously. Due to the effects of her sinful rituals, she wasn't able to move on to the afterlife, and now haunts this place. No one walks near her old house. Only this cameraman accidentally passed by it once and found the ghostly woman on the rooftop with glowing eyes and pale skin. After that, he never entered the haunted area again. Unbelievable hybrid. A wildlife officer named Richard Brown was called to a small community in Limpopo after residents complained about a strange hybrid roaming their area. They described it as a man who moved like an animal, and they wanted him taken away. When Richard arrived, he was really shocked to see the man crawling on all fours. He was even surrounded by stray dogs that treated him as one of their own. The locals revealed he wasn't actually a hybrid creature, but a homeless man who had lived with dogs for years. And now he had lost all sense of self, since this was a biological human and not a dog. Richard handed him over to a doctor for treatment. Enigmatic creature. In December 2013, a man named Ben Harrison was staying at the Mohicans Treehouse Resort in Ohio. He set out one day hoping to see some of the wildlife common to the area, like white-tailed deer, red foxes, and raccoons. But instead, he spotted something far stranger. In the distance, he saw a figure with skin that almost blended into the forest. Its limbs were unnaturally long. Ben thought it resembled a ghoul from folklore said to lure travelers to their doom. So he rushed back and told the resort staff, but they didn't believe him and brushed it off as paranoia. Still, Ben was certain he hadn't seen an ordinary animal, which is why he immediately packed up to leave. Witch-like figure. A man was traveling through rural Bengal in India in search of Visakha leaves, a herb known in that region for treating chest illnesses. He lost his way at night, but still hoped he might spot the plant nearby. That is when he came across a massive banyan tree. Beneath it stood a ghostly figure, draped in white robes, with arms outstretched and motionless. The man couldn't decide if it was a witch-like entity or someone performing a dangerous ritual in the dark. He didn't step closer because, according to South Asian mythology, banyan trees provide shelter to ghosts and other supernatural beings. So, he quietly turned back and took another path. Creepy hospital entity. This asylum in India has been abandoned for years. It was shut down after stories came out about mistreatment and strange experiments on the patients. After multiple lawsuits, the place was closed down for good. One day, a group of YouTubers decided to film there for some spooky content. When they went inside, they saw a humanoid figure with long hair. It was walking in a strange manner. What's even more terrifying is that it had no feet, and its face was completely blank. They ran to escape it. After they left the hospital, they wondered if that was the result of the eerie experiments that happened here. They were even more curious, but didn't dare to go back in. Now it's time for the most unsettling video of the day. This might be one of the strangest videos ever recorded. What makes it even more mysterious is that it was uploaded by an anonymous source, which is why there are no other details about where or when it was filmed. The footage shows a bizarre entity. It had silvery hair, but from the middle of its head, a strange horn-like thing was extending outward. Its body was hunched forward, and its movements were unnervingly jerky. The entity's limbs were especially unsettling because they were unnaturally slender. Its form was neither like humans nor animals. So, what do you think about this? Creepy monster. This visual is one of the most disturbing ones you will ever see. A woman was asleep in her room at around 3:40 in the morning. Someone walked in. At first glance, it looked like a woman, but a closer look revealed a face that was terrifying, like a monster. The figure dropped to all fours and began moving in a disturbing way. As the woman stirred in her sleep, she began acting strangely too, almost as if possessed. Suddenly, the monster crawled away. Later, the woman shared online that the entity wore the exact same outfit she was wearing that night. But since she didn't share what happened next, some viewers doubt the authenticity of the video. Strange crawler. This video was recorded in a poor neighborhood in Mexico. Locals kept complaining about hearing someone outside their homes at night and thought it was a thief, but no one believed them. When authorities finally set up a security camera in the area, it captured this strange figure. It was crawling in a disturbingly unnatural way, and its face was white, like a ghost. When residents saw it, they were shocked. They couldn't decide if it was a person trying to scare them or something far more sinister. When they showed the footage to authorities, they started an investigation, but couldn't find the crawler. Gone missing. On the 4th of October, 2010, two Croatian brothers named Marko Novak and Ivan Novak went missing mysteriously. A few days later, investigators came across this disturbing video after they found their phone in their building's elevator. As they were walking through their neighborhood, a strange man started stalking them. It seemed like he was either under the influence of something or not in the right state of mind. The brother reached the building, and the video ended abruptly after finding the same man inside the elevator. After that, they were never seen again. Even when investigators analyzed this recording over and over again, they couldn't figure out how to trace the strange man or the brothers. Subway mystery. This is one of the creepiest subway clips you'll ever see. A passenger in New York recorded it while riding late at night. There was a human-like figure just outside the train's doors. It was hanging on to the moving subway with an impossible grip. It couldn't have been a human, because at that speed, no ordinary person could survive it. Even if it was a reckless stunt by a person, there's no way the authorities would have allowed it. The video cut off before the train stopped, which is why we didn't find out what was really out there. Forest anomaly. Cryptozoologists around the world are going wild over this forest anomaly. A wildlife researcher named Jonathan Evans was traveling to Borden Village in England when he spotted a strange creature near the roadside. It was covered in dark fur with a white marking in the middle. When he got closer, it walked away in a bizarre way and quickly disappeared into the trees. Jonathan, who had worked in these areas many times to study local wildlife, had never seen anything like it. When he uploaded the video to his wildlife channel later, it gained the attention of cryptozoologists, and they believed he had discovered a new species of cryptids. Reptilian woman. You won't believe what happened here. In 2021, a man named Li Ying shared a strange video of his wife on Instagram. He thought it would be funny to record her and tease her about the face mask she was wearing. But the camera picked up something completely unexpected. Suddenly, she turned her head and flicked out an unnaturally long tongue, just like a lizard. After watching the video, viewers claimed she might be a reptilian. She must have accidentally revealed her real identity when she thought no one was looking. But Li Ying admitted he wasn't sure what to believe, because they'd been married for 5 years, and this had never happened before. Odd frog humanoids. In 2019, a freelance journalist went to investigate an area in Derbyshire, England, after his friend told him about creepy rumors of locals who spotted strange humanoids in the area. On his third night there, his camera recorded pale humanoids on top of a stone wall that came from behind the camera. But the clip got stranger when they started leaping like frogs. Now it could be because of the angle, but it looked like these humanoids had no head. Once the video was uploaded, someone from Derbyshire claimed that these were most likely a tribe or hippies, but no one knows for sure. Skinwalker sighting. The cameraman was in a village in Utah when he recorded this unsettling sight. He was watching coyotes with his friends when he noticed another figure in the field. It was not an animal, but a humanoid shape, crouching low and crawling across the field in an unnatural way.
Oh, what the crap? Is that a guy?
The cameraman, T.K. Worthen from Camas, Utah, later explained that from that distance, it would have been hard to see a man this clearly, which meant this humanoid had to be at least 7 feet tall. He was immediately reminded of the place Skinwalker Ranch in Utah, which is filled with scary stories of such sightings. He never believed the stories until he saw this eerie humanoid, and that night, he couldn't sleep at all.
What was that?
Skinwalker. Walking creep.
Dude, that was a skinwalker. What?
Strange forest humanoid. A man on TikTok named Ryan Matthews dedicates his channel to his love for hunting. In his videos, he uses a night vision scope to reveal the hidden side of nature in jungles. On November 18th, 2022, he was in virgin Komi forests in Komi Republic, Russia. That night, his scope captured the most unusual sight ever. A tall humanoid was walking among the dense birch trees. It couldn't have been another forest explorer, because there was no gear with it. Ryan considered approaching, but something about the eerie figure unsettled him, so he just kept recording until the humanoid vanished deeper into the forest. In the end, Ryan couldn't find out who or what it was. Village Churale. An English traveler named James Carter had gone to a small village in Rajasthan, India, to explore their culture. There, the locals told him to stay away from one ancient tree in the village because a churale was believed to live there. James laughed it off as a superstition. One night, he secretly went there and saw something unimaginable. In the distance, a ghostly woman in white was swinging wildly under the tree. Her skin looked gray, and her glowing eyes were locked on him. The scary sight made him realize the stories were indeed true, and he was a fool to have come here alone. James never made the same mistake again. Mysterious appearance. A watchman was on his nightly rounds in Spain when he noticed something unusual on the street. He wanted to be sure that he wasn't hallucinating, which is why he checked the surveillance footage the same night, and what he saw confirmed that it was real. Out of nowhere, a human-like figure suddenly appeared. It left behind a strange trail, as if it wasn't fully solid, and then it began to fade just as mysteriously as it had appeared. The watchman was so unsettled that he even showed the footage to his supervisor, but even he had no explanation because the video was really unsettling and confusing. Mysterious waterfall humanoid. This video from 2013 started out normal, but quickly took a strange turn. A woman on vacation in Lidice, Rio Claro, Brazil, was recording a waterfall. Suddenly, she noticed a human-like shape that seemed to take form in the heavy rush of water. What made it shocking was that this part of the waterfall was impossible for anyone to go in safely. Yet, the figure appeared to be standing there. Moments later, the shape disappeared. There was no space behind the rocks for anyone to hide, which is why she thought it could have been an optical illusion. What do you think? Unknown dwarf creature. No one knows what that thing is. A street surveillance camera in Spain captured it late at night. It appeared out of nowhere and started clawing at the poster on the wall until it was torn down. The poster had been placed there just the night before by a spiritual group inviting people to a gathering. And the timing of this creature's sudden appearance was really disturbing. It almost seemed as if the poster had summoned this strange entity with glowing eyes and demonic face. A few moments after doing that, the creature crawled away and disappeared completely. Terrifying humanoid. It was late at night on a country road in Mexico. A group of friends was driving by the open fields and recording the empty landscape. They had heard that jaguars sometimes appeared along this road at night, so they kept their camera ready in hopes of spotting one. But what their footage captured was far more disturbing. From the darkness, a pale humanoid figure suddenly emerged. It was massive, almost ghoul-like. And it was coming straight for their car. They were so terrified that they forgot their plan and hit the gas to speed away. Demonic entity. One night, some people in Malaysia were building a tomb for a funeral the next day. After stepping away for a few moments, he returned and was horrified to see something lying inside.
Ayúdenme a compartir para...
At first, he thought it was his companion playing a cruel prank, but when his companion arrived beside him, both realized this was no joke. Inside the pit was a terrifying being draped in a single cloth. Its face was monstrous, its arm dark and clawed, and the demonic entity was alive. They were so shaken that they abandoned that site and started working on another spot instead. By morning, the strange figure had vanished.
Ay, Padre nuestro que estás... ¡Ah! ¡Mira, güey, la boca, güey! ¿Cómo la abre?
Unidentified entity. A man moved into a small, run-down neighborhood in Indonesia, choosing it because the rent was cheap. But at night, he often heard strange noises right outside his door. At first, he thought it might be a thief and decided to set up a camera. But this is what he captured instead. A pale figure was crawling in an unnatural way. It had long hair and an unrecognizable face. After watching closely, the man wondered if it was truly a creature or just a person in disguise trying to frighten him. He decided that if it appeared again, he would confront it to find the truth. Shocking transformation. Believe it or not, what you're looking at right now is not a biological dog. It was a Japanese man named Toko, whose childhood dream was to become a dog. As impossible as it might sound, he did fulfill that dream by spending nearly $14,000 on a custom-made collie costume. The suit took 40 days to create, crafted with realistic fur. In 2023, Toko finally stepped out onto the streets as his new identity, drawing stunned reactions from passers-by. He also runs a YouTube channel called I Want to Be an Animal, where he shares this unusual journey with the world.
Oh, there's another little doggy. Scared. He's scared. It was so much bigger.
Terrifying desert ambush. These men had the most terrifying encounter in the desert. They were in the Thar Desert in the Indian state of Rajasthan. Out of nowhere, they were ambushed by strange, rake-like creatures. The figures were slender, pale, and moved in a very unsettling way. The creatures had surrounded the men within moments. It seemed as if the creatures were trying to scare them off. Their appearance was really unexpected because no such sighting was ever reported there before. The men managed to keep their distance. The men carefully made their way back to their vehicle to drive away. Unbelievable experiment. Is this a real hybrid creature? In the video, it looks like a person's head attached to a dog. The description explains it was the result of experiments in a secret lab in Mongolia, where scientists were trying to create a new kind of pet. The disturbing footage from these alleged tests was uploaded to YouTube, showing several creatures locked in cages. But according to the description, one of them, called La Pejarraca, managed to escape, and now it's locked up here. Many viewers were horrified, while others insisted it was fake. Could this be proof of those experiments, or just a hoax? Terrifying intruder. An intruder snuck into the garage of Emily Wilson, a school teacher. But this was no ordinary thief. It happened in Moorhead, Kentucky, when Emily received a motion alert on her home surveillance system. When she opened the video, she was horrified to see a pale creature inside her garage. It was crouching low, like it was trying to stay hidden. Its twisted posture made it look like an actual skinwalker. The entity lingered for a while, and then left without touching the car or taking anything. Still, Emily was really scared, fearing that creepy creature might return.